This scenario explains to create association and navigation between SCARR and SPFLI tables, and we will discuss the test results, how we can view this association and navigation using expand parameter. Now let us see how we can implement association navigation in system. Go to SCGW transaction code. Click on create project. Enter the project name here. Enter the description here. Store it in the local object. Okay, already this name is in use. The project is created. Under project we can see different folders. Let me create the entity type. Right click on data model, import DDIC structure. Here I am going to create two entity type models. So I am going to name it as SCAR. Above structure is also SCAR. Click on next button. So here select the fields which we would like to show as part of the output. Click on next button. Select the primary key here. I am selecting car ID as the key here. Click on finish button. Now I will be creating one more entity type. Right click on data model, import DDIC structure. I am going to select SPFLI as the name for the second entity type. I am selecting the above structure. Click on next button. Here let me select the fields. Click on next. I am going to select the primary keys here. Click on finish button. Here under entity type we can see both the entity types. Under entity set we can see the entity sets. Now I am going to create association which will make the relation between these two tables. Right click on data model, create, click on association. Here I am going to give some association name. I am selecting the principal entity. So let me click on F4. So I am going to select SCAR as the entity type. Dependent entity type, I am selecting the next one, SPFLI. So here I am going to select the cardinality as 1 to n. Navigation property, I am going to make navigation property as navigate demo. Click on next button. So here I need to give the dependent property which is nothing but primary key for the second entity type. Click on F4 button. So I am selecting car ID as the primary key. Click on next. Click on finish button. Now association is created between the two tables. So if we click on association, it will give us the details what we have created in the previous step. Let me select the consistency. Click on check project consistency. Project is checked. Click on generate runtime objects. So it creates model provider class, data provider class and service registration. Click on continue button. Let me store it in the local object package. If you expand service implementation, there we can see the methods under SCAR set and SPFLI set, the corresponding methods. So what I will do is, let me right click on get entity set query. This time I am going to write the code in the ABAP workbench. So let me click and go to ABAP workbench, click on continue. which will navigate me to the class builder. So I'll go to the methods tab, inherited method. Here we can see all the methods for the two entity sets. So I'll right click on scar set get entity set. So here we need to redefine the methods while writing the code. Click on redefine method. So here it will give you the blank space. I'm just removing the commented code here. Let me write the code which will fetch the details from the table. Select from scar into the table ET entity set. So ET entity set is nothing but the exporting parameter for this method, which is of type TT underscore scar, returning data. Now let me click on check button to check the errors. Let me activate the method. Click on continue. Now get entity set method has been redefined. Now let me write the code in get entity as well. Right click on scar set underscore get entity. Click on redefine. I'm writing the code in get entity method here. Let me activate the method. Now I'll write the code in SPFLI set get entity set. Right click on the method, redefine. So I'll write the code here. Let me activate the method. Come back to SC2W transaction code. There, take the service name and go to the activate and maintain service T code to activate the service. So this is the service name, Z Association Navi Demo App SRV. Let me go to the transaction code where I can activate the service. Here click on add service, select the system alias, enter the technical service name. Enter the service name, select the service, click on add selected services, click on continue, select the local object as $TMP. The project is getting activated here. Yes, it is activated successfully. Click on continue, take the service name, go back to the service. So here click on call browser to test the service in the browser. So whenever you are opening the service in the browser, it asks for the login credentials to authenticate the service. So enter your login credentials here. So after authenticating the service, it will give you the details of the entity sets. So if you want to see the metadata of the service, so we can use $metadata. So it will give us all the metadata information. So now I'll use the entity set name, scar set. It will give me all the flight details. So I'm going to test it for the single flight code. Yes, it is giving me the single CAR ID details, AA, American Airlines, USD, and the URL. Now let me select it for LH. I'm just checking the values for different services, different airline codes. Here, if we want to see the flight schedule details along with the flight details, we need to use $expand parameter. For that, we need to use the navigation property as the runtime property to view the details. So how we will get the navigation property which we have given in the previous step? Again, we can go back to $metadata, the spelling mistake here. So enter $metadata. So here just search for navigation property. Yes, Navi flight demo is the navigation property. So again, to view the details, so select scarset LH, which is nothing but the car ID. So I'm using expand parameter, expand navigation property. So here we see, if you use expand parameter, it gives you the header details along with the line details. So in this example, it will give us the flight details. So if you see here, it will give us the flight schedule details as well. So country from, city from, airport from. So for the car ID LH, we have multiple flight schedules. So it is showing us all the details here. This is how we can use the expand parameter. Thank you for watching this video.